Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. This is going to be part 2 for solving systems with 3 variables. And in this video, I'm going to be going over the elimination method. All right. So the elimination method, the goal is similar to the substitution method. So if you remembered, what we tried to do was we tried to turn it into a system that was 2 by 2. All right. And we did that with substitution, but you can also do it with elimination. All right. So when you're doing elimination method, right, you can only do elimination method with 2 equations at a time, okay? And what I mean by that is you can't add like all 3 equations together. You can only look at 2 of the equations. So you kind of have to think about, what variables do I want to get it down to? Now, with this first equation, we made it kind of easy because if I take that top equation and I move it down here, so 2x minus y plus z equals 2. We actually get really lucky because we can get actually 2 things to cancel out here. If we add these together, negative 2x plus 2x, that'll cancel out. Y minus y, that cancels out. And what we're left with is z plus z, which is 2z. Negative 14 plus 2 is negative 12. And so we can actually solve for z. So you're not really going to get the full experience on this one, similar to substitution. The first one, you didn't really get the full experience, but you kind of get to see what's going on. So we get z equals negative 6, and that's actually our first letter. So now, we want to use that. We want to try and get y or x. If we plug it back into this middle equation, we don't have an x, so we can actually get y. All right, so I'm going to plug that in. I'm going to plug y minus 6 equals negative 10. And that'll let us actually get y. So add 6 to both sides. So you only use the elimination to get the first one. Once you've got one, then you just substitute it back in like you would in the normal elimination method. So we get y equals negative 4. So now we have z and we have y, which means we can plug them both in to try and find x. So I'm going to plug them both into that top equation. So I'm going to have 2x minus y. So y is negative 4, so it's going to be minus negative 4. Be careful about, plugging things in parentheses. And then plus negative 6 equals 2. So the reason it's important here is because we know that's going to turn positive. So it'll be 2x plus 4 minus 6 equals 2. Combine like terms. 4 minus 6 is negative 2. Add the 2 to the other side. We get 2x equals 4. Divide by 2, x equals 2. So that's the first problem. So you could see how we used elimination method there to get what we wanted, okay? Number 2, let's look at a different problem, all right? See something different happens. So I'm looking here. I want to use the elimination method. First thing you want to look for is, does anything cancel? Well, I see that x and this x would cancel. So I want to add together the first and the third equations, okay? So I'm going to rewrite that top equation down here. So we've got negative x plus 6y plus z equals negative 16. And I want to add those together. And if I do, that x cancels out. Now, notice here, there's no y's up there, so that 6y just stays the same. The z's need to be added together. So 4z plus z equals 5z. And that gives us negative 22. And so we're kind of done, okay? Can't do much from there. Now, I'm wondering if that was the best thing to do, though. I'm sorry, guys. I may have led us astray. But, it's good to see. Because now that I look at these 2 equations, neither of them have a y at all. So we don't really want a y there. really doesn't do us any good. So we're actually going to restart this problem. Instead, what we're going to need to do is we're going to have to add these two together, because if we can cancel out, the x, we'll be able to get z. So we're actually going to have to multiply this equation by 4. But you can kind of see, the trial and error involved. This stuff isn't easy. So 4x plus 16z minus 24. So now I'm going to rewrite this middle equation. So that'll be negative 4x minus 5z equals 2. Now let's try this. Now we won't have that y in the way, and we can get rid of our x, and we'll have 11z equals negative 22. Okay? And then we can solve. So I'm going to divide by 11, and I'm going to get z equals negative 2. And that's good. That's a lot better. So now we have z equals negative 2. Now we can plug that back in. I'm going to plug it back in here, okay? So I'm going to say x plus 4 times negative 2 equals negative 6. So that gives us x minus 8 equals negative 6. Add the 8 over, we get x equals 2. So now we have x and we have z, which means we have to plug them in to get y. So we had to get y last because that's the only y. So that's where I kind of messed up in the beginning. So let's plug them back in. So we've got negative 2 plus 6y minus 2 equals negative 16. I'm going to drag this over here. So now we want to solve for y. So negative 2 minus 2, that's negative 4. So we got 6y minus 4 equals negative 16. Add the 4 over, 6y equals negative 12. Divide by 6, y equals negative 2. So there we go. We got all three. Okay, so you saw another example. That one was actually kind of easy as well. Let's look at a hard one. All right, here we go. So here we have 3 x's, 3 y's, and 3 z's. So we need to start canceling something out. So now this time I am going to do it right. The one thing that I notice is that these y's would cancel out and these y's would cancel out. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the elimination method twice. Okay? So I'm going to add these together. Sorry. So that'll give us 2x plus 4x, so that's 6x. These will cancel out. Minus 2z equals 34. So there's equation number 1. Actually, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. Okay. Now, I need to get another equation because I want to make that 2 by 2 system with x and z. So now, I just did the second and third equation. Now I want to do the first and second. So I'm going to rewrite both of those equations. Actually, I can just do this. So I want to get another equation. So I'm going to add these together. So that'll give me 3x. My y's will again cancel. 3z minus z is 2z. Negative 4 plus 15 is 11. All right. So there's my second. So now I have two equations that both involve just x and z. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm actually going to take that and I'm going to bring it down here. And now I'm going to do elimination method again, because now I see, oh, look, I have negative 2z and I have 2z. So if I add these together, my z's will cancel. So I can do 6x plus 3x, that's 9x. 34 plus 11, that's 45. 45 divided by 9, we get x equals 5. And there we go. So we got our first letter. So that's basically, we had to do the elimination method, notice 3 times. We had to use it to get a 2 by 2, and then we used it to solve the 2 by 2. Now that we have x, now we can just take that, we can plug it back in right there. So we can get 3 times 5 plus 2z equals 11. So now we can solve for z, so that'll be 15 plus 2z equals 11, minus 15 from both sides. We get 2z equals -4, divided by 2, and we get z equals -2. Okay? Now we can take both of them back in, solve for y. I'm just going to say the top equation, just randomly. So that'll be 5 minus 3y plus 3 times -2 equals -4. So 5 minus 3y minus 6 equals -4. Combine like terms. 5 minus 6, that's -1. So we got -3y minus 1 equals -4. Add the 1 over, and -3y equals -3. Divide by -3, and we get y equals 1. So that's basically the extent of the elimination method, okay? So hopefully, that helped. I know that was kind of a lot. This subject, isn't very fun. It's a lot of math. On your skill check, you can use elimination method or substitution method, whichever is your choice. You just have to do one problem. All right, if you have any questions, come to office hours. Let me know. I'll help you through it. But other than that, have a great day.